Hi, thanks for joining us for the Family Plot, Gardening in the Mid-South. I'm Chris Cooper. Everyone loves flowers. Today we're going to talk about some of the classic varieties you can grow from seed. We will also be laying some sod. That's just ahead on the Family Plot, Gardening in the Mid-South.
Production funding for the Family Plot, Gardening in the Mid-South is provided by the WKNO Production Fund, the WKNO Endowment Fund, and by viewers like you. Thank you.
Welcome to the Family Plot. I'm Chris Cooper. Joining me today is Celeste Scott. Celeste is a UT Extension Agent in Madison County, and Booker T. Leigh will be joining me later. All right, Celeste, it's always good to have you here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Well, good. You're going to talk about your favorite topic with us today. Yes. So we're talking about seed-grown flowers.
Yes.
Where would you like to begin?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I just love seed-grown flowers, number one, because they are not very expensive, right?
Okay.
Seeds are a lot less expensive than buying plants. We can allow them to reseed in our gardens, many of them, or we can collect seed and share them with our friends. So those are some of the reasons why I really love them. And the ones I want to share with y'all today are pass along favorites.
I like it.
Some that friends and family have given to me, and I've continued to share them with others.
Okay, sounds good.
So we'll just jump right in, I'd say.
Okay.
So castor bean is a plant that a lot of people wouldn't go to for their first seed-grown plant, right? Most folks, I'm thinking, are going straight to zinnias and cosmos,
yes,
which are super easy to grow from seed, beautiful in the garden,
yes,
direct seed easily, but the ones I picked for today are kind of unique, right? And some things that I'm growing in my garden this year that I wanted to share with y'all. But castor bean has a huge, a really huge bold leaf.
Yes,
and it can come in like a burgundy color or a green color with burgundy veins. The flower head is pretty insignificant, but then it creates some really unique seed pods.
Yes, yes.
And it can really just be a wow factor in the garden. So we're talking, 6, 7 feet tall. If you have really fertile soil, I've seen them get to 12, 15 feet tall.
Huge. Yeah.
I know, in one season they grow that size. Will reseed themselves in the garden, and to the point of becoming weedy if you don't kind of stay on top of it. So that's something to be conscious about, but a really cool plant to add a little pizzazz and wow in the garden. My number 2 favorite plant that I wanted to share with y'all today is called balsam. That's a common name for it. The scientific name is Impatiens balsamina. And my mother-in-law shared this seed with me. And she said that when she was growing up, they called them touch-me-nots. Because,
touch-me-nots.
yes,
I've heard that.
as the seed pod dries, when you touch it, or if the wind blows it too hard, the seed pod will pop open and shoot the seeds out. So it's like a dispersal mechanism that the plant created, but it's fun for kids and available in lots of beautiful colors. The bloom itself kind of reminds me of a snapdragon, but it doesn't have the top hood on it. So it's kind of like looks like a jaw, right? Just kind of open and hangs off the plant. They're beautiful, bloom all summer long. Snow on the Mountain was number 3 for me. So this really is an heirloom type plant. These are things, all of these plants, they're not things that you're gonna go to a nursery and see for sale in a 6-pack. They don't look great, right, at the nursery when they're seedlings. And so I understand that nurserymen don't wanna put their stock in that, but they're easily grown from seeds. So seek out friends who have these or order them online. But Snow on the Mountain is an annual euphorbia. And it gets about 2.5 feet tall. Think a long stem that's really sturdy and then lots of foliage at the top. So you want to put it where it's got something covering up its ankles. You know what I mean?
I like this.
Yeah, you don't want it showing its legs too much. But it is a variegated foliage, green with a white creamy edge around it. Bears the flowers right on top here, and that's also where the seeds form. So when you go to collect seed, that's what you're looking for.
Nice.
So just to write a nice little, bit of texture and color in the garden without relying on blooms too heavily.
Gotcha.
Jewels of Opar is number 4. This plant is super unique because it is very, very tough. I have seen it come up in the crack of asphalt. Like, you know what I mean? It's
that
growing.
Is tough.
There's no soil there. It's just, leaf matter that's jammed down in the cracks, and it's just growing there. So it can tolerate heat.
Obviously,
it can tolerate drought.
Okay.
It has a really pretty kind of chartreuse foliage, but its main attraction is this really tall seed head that comes up. We'll call it the inflorescence, a really tall stalk. And then at the top, it's really airy. So it's got teeny tiny fuchsia blooms that then turn into these little copper-colored pearls all over the ends of the inflorescence. And it's great for cut flower arranging. It's great for drying, and I really just enjoy looking at it in the garden. So just a little pizzazz, a little something different, unique. Definitely, if you like taking people around your garden, everybody's going to ask you what this plant is.
Good deal.
So that's a fun one.
That's good.
Then I've got a couple we'll call throwbacks.
Throwbacks.
They've been around for a while, and I know a lot of people enjoy them, but celosia.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
I like celosia.
I love celosia. It grows very easily from seed, direct seeded in the ground, or you can start it indoors. One of my personal favorites is a cultivar called Asian Garden. It's an All-American Selection winner from, I believe, 2015 or 2017 possibly. And it has a lavender purpley color, and as the bloom ages, it kind of turns silvery. And it's one of these that's just going to kind of float through the garden. So it's going to weave onto other plants. It's not a really stout stand up on its own type kind of plant. So plant it in clusters so that they can kind of grow into each other would be my suggestion for that. And then lastly, the last one I wanted to share with y'all today is Cosmos sulphureus. So this is different from Cosmos bipinnatus.
Oh, so it's different.
It's
different.
different.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yes, the Cosmos that most folks are growing that are the pinks and the whites and kind of pretty red kind of colors, that's Cosmos bipinnatus. And this is Cosmos sulphureus. It has orange, sometimes yellow colored blooms. It's a much taller growth habit, and it's also branches more than our typical garden cosmos. It blooms a little later in the season, so we have something there from late summer through fall, providing nectar. I've even seen my hummingbirds feeding on them. Butterflies love them, and it's just a really bright pop in a fall garden when we know a lot of our gardens aren't looking great at that time of year, especially in the Mid-South. It's just so hot.
It is.
And this is one of those plants that is unaffected by the heat.
Nice.
So
That's even better.
I know. So these are just some of my personal favorites, ones that I grew in the garden this year. But if people want more, we have an entire publication on it, a UT Extension, that's available for folks. It is seed-grown flowers for the home Tennessee garden. And you can find that on our publications website, uthort.com. Go there, there's a search box, just type in seed grown, and that publication will pop right up. And they can learn all about it.
Celeste, that was good information. We'll definitely get that on our website, uthort.com. Appreciate it much. We could tell you like these pass along plants.
I do.
Good job, good job. Thank you much.
Thanks.
Let's talk a little bit about Kalinga. There's a lot of Kalinga in this lawn here. There's a little patch right here. There's some patches here. Little bitty patch that's coming up here. And this is what it looks like when it's full grown. Kalinga is considered to be a sedge. A distinct characteristic of Kalinga is this. You have the little seed head, okay, a little seed ball here. And then right underneath that seed head will be 3 leaves, okay? So again, seed head, 3 leaves. That's a distinct characteristic of Kalinga. In a lawn situation, you could use image to control Kalinga. Read and follow the label. But in a situation like this, where it's growing around some of your desirable plants, the best thing would probably be to pull it out, right? Because you definitely don't want to use a chemical here because you might get it on your desirable plant. Here's a blueberry. So again, I would just pull as much of this Kalinga out as possible. All right, so Booker, you're gonna show us how to lay sod.
Yeah, we're gonna see how to lay
So how do we
sod.
get started with that?
How we get started? The first thing while we laying this sod now, we had a friend house. He want to lay some sod.
Okay.
And he started off. He's been here about 20 years now.
Okay.
And he had Bermuda grass down here. And over a period of time, you see, he got some big old tall oak trees. You know, like oak tree now. They was when we built the house, they were real small. He had Bermuda grass down here. And over a period of time, the grass began to die. And now he want to go with a new grass.
Okay.
And we know that Georgia grass would do good in partial shade. But we found a new one, raw Georgia.
Okay.
It'll do good in shade.
Okay.
So he going with a raw Georgia this time in here. But before he got started, the first thing he did now, he killed everything out of here.
Okay.
He got some Roundup and sprayed everything.
Whole yard.
Whole yard. Turned it brown. Then he came back in with his garden tiller and tilled it up.
Okay.
Then before you get started doing everything, another thing, don't till it when it's wet. Because those hard pans will get in there, it's hard to break up. Okay. So you want to make sure it's dry. Then once you get it tilled, you want to rake it out. So I got it right here. We're going to show you this. Rake it out real smooth. Smooth it out real good. Or you want the soil to come in, you want to come in contact with some good loose soil for the soil can catch on real good.
Okay.
See how you doing that?
Right.
A lot of work doing that.
Right.
Yeah, that's good. Doing muscle work. So you want to level it out real good, real smooth. Then you want to come in and lay your sod. But another thing, when we did that, he did a soil test.
Oh, yeah.
And
Good.
the soil test came back, his pH was kind of low. He needed to add some lime. They told him to add 100 pounds per 1,000 square feet.
Okay.
But you don't want to do all that at one time now. You want to do probably about 30 pounds at a time, then come back in and do it again once the grass catch on and start growing real good.
Right.
Dr. Cooper, now you see sod, it's cut a certain way. Now we don't start right here because we don't know when you give it late sod, you got some sprinkle heads out there. You got a thing, you need to make sure you mark those out like that right here. You got them circles around there.
Right.
Because people know there's a sprinkle head.
That's right.
You don't want to go out there and
cover it up.
There. You wonder why it's not doing any good. Now you see sod on this range here. Now it cut a certain way. When you buy sod, it cut a certain way that it fit in. You want it to fit in, will be real good. See, they go together.
Okay, so you got to butt it up pretty good.
Butt it up,
huh?
yeah, see that real good, like that. See that? How I butt it up. Don't lay another one here. Make sure you butt up real good. In there, you look at it. That's where it goes. See that look real good in there?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now we're gonna stop here and come back. When you're laying sod, you don't want to make sure that you don't have the seam right there. See that seam there? You don't want the seam. You don't want to lay it like that.
Right.
Because the seam going together when it rains, it'll wash up.
Yeah, you can see the water channels.
Water channel get in there. So you want to
Not
come
only
back.
that, weeds to grow in between that
Yeah,
too.
you want to come back just like that in there. And come on down because you want to make sure that sod is tight together. So then you come back in here again. You make sure you find the right edge, but then butt up real good together. Hope we ain't got another sprinkle head down there.
Oh, no, if it is, it's covered up.
It's covered up. Mm-hmm. So you know you might keep it regular in there.
So it's got to be right. You said right
Regular,
smooth.
real smooth.
Good contact is what you're
Good
looking
contact,
for. Right?
good contact in there. So that look good there. How they look?
Look good so far.
Look
Have you
good.
done this before?
Yes.
Oh, you know what you're doing, huh?
You know what I'm doing there. know when you come, you did all kinds of odd job and catch it in there. So we get to watch those in and make sure they go together.
Okay.
That's where they go. Yeah.
And Boogie, if you flip this up, man, you can see it has a real good root system in there too.
Oh yeah, they're real good.
Mm-hmm. Real good root system in there.
And another thing, when you buy sod, you don't want to lay on the pallet too long.
Okay.
Try to, when you have it shipped, at less than 2 or 3 days, try to be able to put it down.
Right.
You don't want to set that, because we're dry out. Now we're doing this in the summertime. When it's real hot, and it's been real dry. What you want to do, you want to water down some.
Okay.
But for the roots, don't want to get into no hot soil.
Right.
Not wet now, kind of moist. Moist it down real good.
Yeah.
So we'll come here again and lay another one this side over here in there. Just to make sure. And I see how they looking there? How they look?
Oh, man, it's looking good, man.
Huh?
Are you for hire? You looking good, man.
Oh, yeah, man. Anytime, man, you talking about money, man. Nah, we working together there. And so in there. So that look good there, so.
Now, but while you're doing that, how long do you think that's gonna, take hold?
Oh, it'll catch hold, and you'll see it catch hold real good. It keeps some moisture on there.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to keep it wet.
Okay.
Keep it kind of moist until it start catching on. And you can come out here and pull on it. It'll be done caught on.
Okay.
If it's hard to come up,
That means it's
like
taking root.
Catching roots.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. No, you know what? I'm getting tired. But that's good though, you know. That's good exercise. So we got it down there real good. See that there? You see, now that don't go together.
Right.
See how I look? You can tell it don't fit like that. See, no, that don't fit together. You see that big gap you got there?
Yeah, that's too big a
That's
gap.
too bad. No, what I do, I turn it around. Now, see the difference?
Fit.
You see the difference? So when you're laying sod, they don't go out there and get it and put it any kind of way, because it won't look good.
You got to fit it like a puzzle.
Like a puzzle. No, you're right now. You know that,
Like
don't
a puzzle.
you? Now, I'm going to rake this out right here a little bit here.
Okay.
Because that's kind of high there. Can you hold it for me a minute? You don't mind?
Oh, yeah. Hold up.
I want to rake that out there a little bit. Yeah. It's just kind of mud out here right now. There's nothing too more. I'm glad we didn't do a whole lot right now. So that might be good something to show there too. Now, but we get this laid, when you get this sod laid, all of it laid real good, you want to roll this here.
Okay.
You know, for it to fit in real good together. You know, we got a roller, and we can roll it out and make sure it come in contact with the ground real good.
Okay. So you want to get it even when you roll it.
You want to get it even when you roll it, yeah. You want to get it even when you roll it to make sure you kind of get everything together.
Okay.
And I think they look pretty good. To make sure, the most important thing, don't have these seams running together. Have those seams split, kind of lap like a pull, like you said.
Okay.
You want to make sure you do it like that.
Okay.
I think they're real good, don't it?
It's a good start, right?
And when you get through, man, you have a pretty yard in there. So I think that's where you do that in that side. Two things you need to keep in mind. Do your soil test.
Right.
Because the lime is the most important thing. If the pH is off, it's not going to take up the other nutrients in the soil.
Okay.
So you want to make sure that you...
So what does the lime do to the pH?
It really helps other fertilizer be used up by the plant.
Okay.
The grass wouldn't use the other pH, the other soil, if the pH is off.
Okay.
So you make sure you do that soil test. And he did his soil test, came back low, like mine did, and he got it fixed in there.
All right, then, Booker, we definitely appreciate that demonstration.
Okay.
Can't wait to see what it looks like later on in the season.
All right, then.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to share a few tips on how to harvest seed from fleshy fruits and vegetables. For example, today we're going to use cucumber, but this could be applicable for squash or gourds or pumpkins, anything where you're really having to dig those seeds out of that flesh. So we've gone ahead and split the fruit in half, taken a spoon to scoop out those seeds. And it's okay that you're getting extra flesh and things like that in there, because the technique I'm going to show you is how you can more easily separate those. I've scooped most of the seeds out. Give it a little stir. You want to loosen it from any of the flesh that maybe you weren't able to separate from in the beginning. Then we're going to add some water to this container. Don't fill it all the way up, because you want to leave room. We're fixing to shake this container. You want to leave room for that water to really slosh around, okay? So the goal here is for the agitation of the water to help separate any flesh and clean off that gelatinous stuff from the seeds, okay? Shake it really good. Okay, now I'm gonna let it rest for just a minute or two, and we're gonna let the seeds settle out to the bottom, and everything else is gonna rise to the top, and we'll skim that off. All right, it's been a minute or two, so we're gonna try to skim off what we can from the top surface here. And we have got quite a bit of material. Look at all that came out in the spoon. So we're just gonna continue to do that. I think I have all the big parts. Now I'm gonna gently pour off this water. You could use a strainer. I'm going low tech today. Okay, so we've got our seeds. I'm gonna add more water, round 2. I can already tell it's a lot cleaner. The water's clear, but we still got quite a bit of junk on the top. Shake it again. Okay, we're gonna let it sit again for another minute. All right, it's been another few minutes, and so I am gonna use the help of my trusty kitchen strainer. You don't have to buy anything special, just use something that you already have laying around to help separate this as we pour off that rinse water. Okay, so you see I've got most of the water off and I've caught a lot of the gelatinous stuff. I'm gonna clean that out, just give it a couple hits. And then go ahead and pour the seeds in there to get as much moisture off the seeds as possible. We've got a pretty good clean seed collection here. And so now our next step would be to lay these out in a single layer so that they have really good airflow, they can fully dry out before we package those in a breathable container, maybe a paper envelope, and then put those into an airtight container to help regulate humidity. Place those in a cool, dark place, and these will be good to go next growing season.
All right, Celeste, here's our Q&A question segment.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, these are good.
Okay.
All right, so here's our first viewer email. My son and I are beginner vegetable gardeners. This year, he picked up a small plant at a box store that was mislabeled as a strawberry plant.
Oh.
LOL, clearly it is not a strawberry plant. We have it growing in a large container. It is now approximately 4 feet tall. We have no idea what it is. Do you know what it is? My best to all, and this is Fran from Malden, Massachusetts. Right. So beginner gardeners, which is good.
Yes.
Mislabeled though, didn't look like a strawberry plant to me.
No, and I wasn't familiar with what it was. I just knew that it looked like it might be a weed. But good.
Yeah.
I was glad that I think you can lead us in the right direction.
Yeah, so velvet leaf, very familiar with that. Yeah, seen it a lot. Roadsides, cornfields can grow to about 7-9 feet tall. Right? Produces a lot of seeds.
And those,
right.
you can see
the
the seed heads, forming. They look kind of cool.
Seeds, right? And depending on who you talk to or what publication you read, anywhere from 9,000 to 17,000 seeds.
Oh my goodness.
So it's a summer annual, okay? Again, he likes to grow roadsides, disturbed areas, cornfields, right? Tells you a little bit about, the conditions of the soil that they like to grow in. But yeah, if you don't get control of it pretty quick, it'll be back.
Yes. So don't let it hang around too long.
Don't let it hang around too long. And of course, it has the heart-shaped leaves. And guess what? The leaves are soft to the touch.
Oh, like lamb's ears.
Like lamb's ears.
Like just fuzzy.
Right, just fuzzy. Feels real good to the touch, right? So, Fran, you have a velvet leaf. It seems to be growing pretty well.
Yeah, it's loving where it's at.
It's
You've taken
well.
great care of
yes,
it thus
you've
far.
taken good care of it, but do know you want to make sure to get that out of there because it'll be back next year, all right? So thank you for that question, Fran. We appreciate that. Velvet leaf, how about that? All right, here's our next viewer email. What are the best ways to prevent or eliminate cabbage worms? And this is Dave from Powell, Ohio. So the old cabbage worms. Right?
Cabbage worms are so hard. They're so hard. And they like things more than cabbage. So, I mean, anything in that cold crop.
Yeah, the brassica.
Yes,
family.
Yep. They're just gonna flock to, and there's not a whole lot we can do. So we'll start with the most obvious.
Okay,
if you're
let's do that.
into using insecticides, you can use BT products. Those target caterpillars specifically.
Okay.
And that's what this cabbage worm is. In its adult form, cabbage worms are like a small white butterfly.
Yeah.
There is a green cabbage worm and there's a striped cabbage worm.
Yes.
So they can look, differently when
Yes,
you're
you
trying to
can.
find them on the leaf. Most of the time they're on the underside. So when you spray that product, you need to try to get good coverage. That can be difficult, especially on cabbages because we know how they grow, right? Like all balled up like this.
Yeah.
So getting good coverage is important when using those sprays. And then if you have a dedicated area, say maybe a raised bed where you're growing these cabbages or anything in that Brassicaceae family, you can, if you do it early enough, cover them with like a floating row cover.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Yes, and you don't have to get real fancy with it. Floating row covers can rest on the tops of the plants, and they can move as the plant grows. So you don't have to have hoops. You don't have to have like a lot of things to make this work. We need the floating row cover, and you need something to secure it along the lengths and the ends of wherever this growing area is that you have them. So what we're trying to do, it's a technique called exclusion. You're trying to keep them out. So if you ever opened it up for a day to, I don't know, you just decided they needed to breathe or something, you don't have to worry about that because water, light can get through floating row covers. But if you opened it up and allowed an opportunity for them to move in and lay their eggs, and you cover it back up again, now you've just trapped them in there, and you are, making the problem worse. So if you want to use floating row covers for exclusion, you have to be dedicated and keep it closed.
Keep it closed.
But those are the two,
Yeah, those are the two that came to my mind. Yeah.
I mean, you can try to smush them as you see them, but you'll wear yourself out.
Yeah, you can try to hand pick them. They camouflage so well.
Yes.
I always tell people to look for their fecal pellets. That way you can track them down. But yeah, they're gonna eat up your cabbage.
You'll know it if they're there.
Oh, you definitely know it, for sure.
They'll have big old holes in there.
You would know it, but yeah, the BT, the row covers, spinosyd is something that you can use. It's pretty safe.
Yeah.
Neem oil. You might have to use a spreader sticker though, because some of the leaves are.
They are kind of
slick.
They are slick, and the water will just ball up and roll off.
Yeah,
so you might. That's a good point. You might need to add a spreader sticker.
Do that as well. So thank you for that question, Dave. We appreciate that. Good luck, with that. Celeste. That was fun.
It was.
Thank you much.
Thanks.
All right. Remember, we love to hear from you. Send us an email or letter. The email address is familyplot@wkno.org, and the mailing address is Family Plot, 7151 Cherry Farms Road, Cordova, Tennessee 38016. Or you can go online to familyplotgarden.com. That's all we have time for today. Thanks for watching. If you didn't get enough Family Plot for 1 week, check us out online. We have more viewer questions there that did not make it onto the show. Just go to familyplotgarden.com. Be sure to join us next week for the Family Plot, Gardening in the Mid-South. Be safe.